So what if you want to transform a node that is within a context of another node? So for example, in this case, I have two functions. One is foo, one is bar, and each of them has two variables, a and b, which is assigned to a string value of a and b. So over here, my transformation is I want to transform the string literal to prefix them with like two underscores. So if I do it this way, I probably will, I will convert all the string literals to be prefixed with two underscores. But what if I want to only do that within the function that is named foo, right? What if I want to do only that? So there's two ways that I can think of to do this. The first way we can do it is to have a sub-traversal. What that means is that we can visit within a function declaration visitor, we can have another traversal path that goes into all the nodes that within that function and do the transformation. So rather having it here, what we can do is that we can define function declaration path, and we can, so if the path.node.id.name equals to foo, then we can traverse again. So what that means is that I can do path.traverse, and I can copy this over into the traverse visitor, right? So we have like a nested traversal. I traverse once down this path. If I encounter like function declaration is foo, then I traverse again within the foo to do this transformation, right? So over here you can see that this only happens if the function name is foo, and thus you can see that only the foo string literal is replaced with a prefix of double underscore. So a drawback of using this is that once the same node within this function foo is actually traversed twice, right? One in the outer traversal, one in the inner traversal, right? Once you've done the inner traversal, we still gonna go through all the nodes in here. So one thing that you can prevent that is probably you can do something like, so if you know that this is only what you need to do, then probably you can say that this you can call like path.skip to tell that, or maybe even do it outside the if statement. This is to tell that skip whatever is within the function declaration node, right? From here onwards, you're just telling the outer traversal that don't go in again to the inner nodes of this function declaration, because presumably you have done it in your inner traversal, right? Or else you will have a double traversal within, you'll traverse twice, once in the inner and once that it's outer traversal, right? So another way, the method 2 of doing to solve this is that we can have some sort of states within our whole plugin, right? We can store some sort of states which tells us that whether we are within a function declaration that the function name is foo, and if so, we do something, right? So let's kind of revert it back. So I'm gonna come back over here. I'm gonna remove this and remove this. So if you can see here, actually your visitor function can take in two parameters, right? The second parameter is actually called a state. A state is something that you can think of as a map where you can get like state.get. So here is that I'm gonna call it within foo. If you're gonna use this plugin with a lot of different other plugins, then my recommendation is that prefix this with something like your namespace, so that you would never know whether your name get conflicted with other plugins, right? So here I'm gonna just call it within foo. I'm gonna say if this is something, then I'm gonna do the transformation. So right now this state has nothing, right? I'm going to check whether it is like true or a truly value, right? I'm going to say shorthand is like whether it's, if we have this, if this value is truly, then I'm going to replace it. But now we haven't set the state, so all of them are like falsy, right? So here, if my path.node ID is full, I can do is that I can take in the states and I say states.set within full equals to true. Yeah, but then over here you can see that all of them is transformed to prefix. So what's going on? Is this state not working? Well, it actually does works. If I have another function called buzz over here, you can see that buzz is not transformed, but whatever comes after full is transformed. So you can realize that the Babel traversal actually happens from top to bottom, and yeah, from the outer node to the inner node, right? And the state, we turn on the state when we encounter a function called full. But after we are done with it, after we are coming out from full and gonna go to the next function, we actually didn't really like unset the flag so that the state is always turned on from full onwards, and that's why you can see that the bar function is actually is also when you transforming the string literal within a bar function is also transformed to become prefix, right? So what we can do is that actually if your visitor if it's a function, then yeah, it will only run when it's entering the node. But actually it can be an object of two methods, an enter and an exit. Right, so if you don't do it as an object, then probably it's only called within entering. But if you do it like an object, then you can provide like an exit method for it. And for exit, you can say that I'm gonna ignore whatever is called a path. I'm gonna say states. I'm gonna always reset the states within full to false, right? And now you can see that now full. Once we exited the function full, or any function, then we'll unset the flag of within full, right? And thus, when you're entering a bar function, you're not turning on the flag full. Thus, you are not transforming the string literal in a full, right? So we have two methods of doing this. One is have an inner traversal. So that may cause like double traversal unless you tell Babel that you want to skip this node, you don't traverse it again. And another way is having a state, which is kind of like a global state of that plugin throughout the plug. So the state itself is global throughout the file. So you can share the state across different plugins. But if you call this plugin for different transforming for different files, that state will only be global within that file. Right, so we can use a state that kind of create like a context where it tells us that when we are entering a certain state, a certain node, we turn it into true, and when we're exiting, we reset it back to the previous value. So thus, we can create some sort of like context of telling us whether we are within a function full or not. Right. Hope that helps you.